What if I told you there's a proven, no-cost method for building ironclad mental toughness, a method even Roman emperors used? The answer is Stoicism, a 2,000-year-old system. It offers techniques to make you as strong as iron and as tough as steel. In this video, we'll explore exactly how you can use it to develop the mental toughness that can transform your life and help you become a winner. Stoicism is a practical system, a toolkit for your mind, forged in the real world and designed to be indestructible. However, most people misunderstand mental toughness. They believe it means simply gritting your teeth and powering through with sheer willpower. But willpower is limited. It eventually runs out, leaving you more vulnerable. Stoicism operates differently. Instead of brute force, it cultivates genuine resilience through 3 core skills: emotional intelligence, rational thinking, and virtue-based action. Consider this analogy. Willpower is a sprint that leaves you exhausted. Stoicism is endurance training that strengthens you with every challenge. Let me illustrate. Imagine you receive harsh criticism at work. The tough-it-out approach suggests ignoring it and not letting it affect you. The Stoic approach is different. First, you pause and objectively examine the criticism. Is it valid feedback you can learn from? So, you use it to improve? If not, you recognize it says more about the critic than about you. In either case, you are choosing your response instead of reacting impulsively. This is the crucial distinction: reactive toughness versus intelligent resilience. One leaves you defenseless when your willpower falters, while the other makes you stronger with each use. The bedrock of Stoic. Mental toughness is a simple truth. You cannot control what happens to you, but you absolutely control your response. Most people squander immense energy battling things beyond their control: others' opinions, traffic, the weather, the past. Stoics, however, focus 100% of their energy on what they can influence: their thoughts, actions, and character. Here's how this turns obstacles into opportunities. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" when something goes wrong, you ask, "How can I use this to become stronger?" This single shift in perspective changes everything. For instance, if you lose your job, instead of panicking, you ask, "What new doors might this open? How can I use this time to pursue work that aligns with my values?" Marcus Aurelius perfectly captured this. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your true power resides in your response, not in controlling external events, but in choosing how you think, feel, and act in response to them. The initial step in building mental toughness is to discard the victim mentality. True mental toughness is incompatible with it. When adversity strikes, and it inevitably will, the knee-jerk reaction is often to complain, blame others, or feel sorry for ourselves. But this is precisely the moment to pause and reframe. Instead of seeing every obstacle as a roadblock, ask yourself, what opportunity does this present? What lesson can I learn? How can I use this to become stronger and, in a word, better? As Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations beautifully states, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that. The very thing blocking you is actually clearing your path forward. This reframe holds immense potential: the power to choose your attitude, your actions, and to choose to learn and grow. This is mental toughness in action. This is Stoicism transforming obstacles into opportunities. Now, I'll teach you a counterintuitive technique for managing anxiety: negative visualization. Most people try to stay positive by avoiding negative thoughts. Stoics do the opposite. They deliberately imagine worst-case scenarios to strip fear of its power. This works because anxiety thrives on uncertainty. When you fear something vague and undefined, your imagination conjures monsters far more terrifying than reality. Negative visualization compels you to examine your fears in the light of day, revealing them to be usually manageable or even survivable. Here's how to practice it. If you had to give a major presentation, don't just visualize success. Also, imagine, what if the technology fails? What if someone asks a question I can't answer? What if I stumble over my words? Then, create backup plans for each scenario. Test your equipment beforehand, prepare answers for probable questions, and practice the difficult parts of your speech. By confronting potential setbacks beforehand, you inoculate yourself against panic. You've already considered the worst, planned for it, and proven to yourself you can handle it. Seneca called this rehearsing difficulties, and it's one of the most potent anxiety reduction tools ever developed. Seneca, in his Letters from a Stoic, urged readers to rehearse them in your mind: exile, torture, war, shipwreck, all the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes. He wasn't advocating for misery, but for mental preparation that builds toughness. How can we achieve maximum toughness? The Stoics believed the answer lies in virtue. It's not virtue in some abstract, outdated sense, but practical, actionable virtue, which is the very bedrock of inner strength. Why does virtue matter? Because for a Stoic, virtue isn't about pleasing others or following arbitrary rules. It's about aligning your actions with what is inherently good and rational living in harmony with nature, as they would say. When you do this, you forge an unshakable sense of purpose and meaning. Think of it this way. If your actions are constantly driven by fear, anger, or the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, you are perpetually at the mercy of external circumstances, though, ship-tossed by waves. But if your actions are rooted in virtue and wisdom, justice, and courage, for example, you become the anchor. You gain stability, regardless of what life throws your way. If you're wondering how to develop virtue, it begins with conviction. You must consciously decide your core principles and what kind of person you aspire to be, what values you wish to embody. This isn't passive. It demands honest self-reflection. Ponder this deeply. Write down your answers. Make it concrete. But conviction is merely the first step. The real work starts with enacting those convictions in your daily life. Knowing what is right isn't enough. You must consistently do what is right. This is where Stoic practice becomes invaluable. Each day offers opportunities to exercise virtue, a difficult conversation. It's a chance to practice courage and justice. A moment of frustration, it's an opportunity for emotional moderation. A chance to help someone in need, another opportunity to put justice into action. The key is to consciously choose the virtuous response, even when it's difficult. Start small. Pick one virtue to focus on each week. Actively look for chances to practice it. At night, review your day. Where did you succeed? Where did you fall short? What can you do differently tomorrow? This consistent, intentional practice builds inner strength, transforming you from reactive and vulnerable to proactive and resilient. The most potent Stoic concept is Amor, Fati, loving your fate. This doesn't imply passivity or accepting mistreatment. It means embracing everything life presents as raw material for growth and wisdom. Most people exhaust themselves battling reality, wishing things were different. Stoics align themselves with what actually happens and find ways to use it. As Epictetus taught, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have a smooth flow in life. This is arguably the most radical concept in Stoicism. We spend so much time resisting, complaining, and wishing for different circumstances. We fight against life's current, exhausting ourselves. What if instead we aligned ourselves with that current? That's what Amor Fati is about. It's the understanding that almost everything in ordinary life can be viewed as a potential lesson and source of wisdom, even when it doesn't feel that way. The Stoics genuinely found value in this, and so can you. Consider a major setback you've faced, like the end of a significant relationship. Your initial reaction was likely disappointment, anger, perhaps even despair. But what if instead of dwelling on those negative emotions, you asked yourself, what can I learn from this? Can I grow from this? The point here is to reframe your perspective. You have a powerful human mind. Use it. This moment is about using your mind to recognize every challenge as an opportunity for growth, resilience, and wisdom. Every obstacle is a chance to become stronger, more adaptable, and more aligned with your values. Epictetus put it well. Not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have a smooth flow in life. Success in life means aligning your desires with reality. When you practice Amor Fati, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot control. You free yourself from the prison of resentment and regret. You become more adaptable, resilient, and mentally tough. You learn to see the good in every situation, even when it's buried under layers of difficulty. You also better prepare yourself for living in the moment, as Stoics strive to do. The core principle for living in the present is simple. Focus on the present to eliminate anxiety about the future and regret about the past. This will make you stronger, which is our ultimate goal here. To consistently stay in the present, one of the most effective methods is mindful observation. This means paying attention to your thoughts and emotions as they emerge, but without getting swept away by them. Imagine watching a river flow. Your thoughts and emotions are like leaves on the surface. You observe T,